done. And with that, I'm done with this recap because we got some picks to get to.
Yeah.
It is the holy grail of sports weekends this weekend, in the fall, we'll say at least. We start right off on Thursday, NFL Turkey Day. When the NFL booked this game, Lions versus Bears, I don't think they expected the Jeff Driscoll show and the atrocious offense that has come of the Bears because it has gone downhill quickly. It is a low under-over, 38.5, and the line sits at 3. Lions are favored. I believe they were favored. Let me just double-check that real quick. My bad. The Bears are favored.
I've got the Bears, yeah.
I wrote that. When I saw the Lions are still favored, I was like, that ain't right. No, it's the Bears. The Bears are favored 3. Just wrote it down wrong.
Yeah.
On this game, I'm leaning under, even though it's super low, because I don't know if they're going to score points. I honestly don't know if either one of these teams might. Well, the Lions' defense is so bad, but the Bears' offense is so bad. I don't know if they're going to score.
I agree. I mean, maybe the Bears' defense can force, a sack fumble.
Yep.
I mean, maybe the Bears can score. I agree with you. It looks like I also have 38.5 in the over-under. To me, I'm leaning towards the under there. This kind of screams to me as like a 13-10, maybe 17-13 type game. I don't see either team getting out of the teens, but we'll see. Also, it's a 12:30 game. That's really early. That's always the first game on Thursdays, on Thanksgiving Thursday. But 12:30, especially with the Bears, that's 11:30 their time. A lot of times this is a very sloppy game. So,
yes.
Yeah, I could see a sloppy under 38.5 point type game.
I'm with you. I kind of forgot that it's kind of the time zone there. That is going to be rough. It is sloppy football generally at this time slot. Jeff Driscoll's also got an injury. I think he's dealing with a hamstring. He's questionable right now. He's going to play, I would assume. But, yeah, this game, ugly to start off. Thankfully, we roll into a game that should be somewhat entertaining at a minimum. Bills-Cowboys. The line sits at 7. Cowboys are the favorites. Over-under is sitting at 46 right now is what I have it at. This is a game. Cowboys haven't beaten a team with a winning record, which was not that shocking because they have a very talented roster, but a very untalented coach in Jason Garrett. The Bills, on the other hand, extremely talented defense. Offense is struggling would be a fair word, I would say. I don't want to go all under over picks because that's sort of where I'm leading. I'm going to go with the under here as well, probably. But I like the Bills. That's 7 plus 7. That's a big number, especially on Turkey Day.
Big number.
Big number. I like the Bills at plus 7. I'm betting more the number than I am anything there.
I'm with you on that. That is a big number for a team that, let's face it, they're 8-3. I mean,
yeah.
It's about time that we kind of start to be like, okay, I mean, the Bills they're fine. I mean, did they just play Denver, I think, this past weekend? I think they kicked the shit out of them. But the Bills, it's just a big number. They have a good defense. Like you said, the Cowboys just don't have the coaching. I think they're probably the better team, the more talented team. But, I mean, like you said, that's just a big number at 7. So I'll probably lean towards Bills plus 7 as well.
Yeah, I like Bills plus 7 because I'm more betting the number there. The offense isn't great for the Bills right now, but the defense is still very good. Yeah. And as we saw against the Patriots, the Cowboys now that was an insane weather game too,
yes.
So that obviously factors into it. But there is a very good defense in the Bills. The Cowboys have struggled at times with good teams. Like I said, they haven't won a game against a team with a winning record yet. Big number. I like the 7. I'm with you that. I'll probably also ride the under on that, but I'm going the 7 on the pick. Here's a game where this line has moved. I grabbed it real early because I couldn't believe it opened at this. Saints at Falcons. It opened at 5.5 where I'm at. It's at 7 now. It's at 7. Saints are favored by 7. Over under's 49. What are your thoughts here? Because this one,
I mean, it's a tough one just because the Falcons smacked the Saints around a couple of weeks ago. However, I find it hard to believe they're going to do that again. I really do. I know 7's a big number. I'm jealous you got it at 5.5. But I'm still probably leaning towards the Saints.
I'm with you. So the reason I took the 5.5 right when I saw it, I couldn't believe it. I looked at the opening lines because I normally don't bet them. I like to see where they move and then make my picks off that. But when I saw 5.5, I was like, got to get that. Here's the thing with the Falcons. Hooper's out. Freeman's out. That does not bode well for a team that has struggled this season to produce offensively. I like the Saints. Drew Brees is starting to show a little bit of age with the arm strength, I think, but still an insanely good offense. I think Thomas, by the way, having himself a season. He's closing in on the reception record very quickly. It's a big number, but I like the Saints more than I like the Falcons. And I also think the Falcons also realize that their season's over. Dan Quinn's probably out the door, I would assume. I think there's a morale thing. It's also the later game on Turkey Day, so that's a little tough, I feel like, to get up for. I got Saints -7 as well.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that. I also saw today, as in today, Tuesday night, Julio did not practice today. They said it was rest, but he's got a bit of a shoulder situation going on. So if Julio's out, I mean, you might want to make that wager now before they say Julio's out. I don't know if he will be out, but
Yeah, I'd grab that before that number, because that number isn't getting smaller. Well, at least say that. I don't see that number getting down. Yeah. So I would go. Yeah, I'm taking that. On to college. Unless you have any other thoughts on the NFL here before we move on.
I just wanted to mention, even though we're looking all the way ahead to Monday, I love Seattle on that spread. Just saying.
What is that at?
3 against the Vikings.
Yes.
So I really like that a lot. That's a Monday night game for Kirk Cousins and Seattle. And I know I love bashing Kirk Cousins. The Vikings are good. Kirk's played fine, but Seattle is just nasty.
Yep.
I'm taking Seattle all day.
Seattle's playing very good football, as well as Kirk has played well, but I could easily see that as his comeback to reality, the Kirk of old, prime time, just slide real quick. I like that. I'm with you on that. I'll ride with you on that one.
And it's in Seattle. So.
Oh, yep. Game, set, match. Grabbing that number as soon as we finish this up.
Yeah, you really have to.
On to college football. It is Rivalry, one of the best weekends in college football. There are some games out there. I got 2 picks. I don't know if you want to go in on these 2, and then we're going to get to the bigger rivalry games here. Starting off on Friday, 2 good Friday games I'm looking at. Virginia Tech, UVA, battle in our home state. Virginia Tech's -3, over under 47.5. I'm not going to lie, I kind of like Tech here. Tech has turned a corner for me. They have won me some money recently. I like the football they're playing. UVA, I have lost too many times on them. That offensive line is atrocious. The offense just cannot get going. Bud Foster just coached his last defensive game in Lane Stadium. I think he's going to want to get one more. I think they're going to want to go get one more for the man himself down at UVA. I like 3. I kind of like them to bury them here too, so I'm very much liking that 3 number.
I like the 3 as well. Like you said, Virginia Tech has kind of come on towards the end here. They look like they're playing a lot better, and UVA has kind of fallen off a little bit more as the season's going on. If you asked me back like end of September, early October, I would have said, this is finally going to be the year that UVA beats Virginia Tech, and I no longer believe that. I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
I was kind of looking forward to it, to be honest.
I won't lie to you. I kind of was too, because I'm kind of tired of hearing like Virginia Tech fans parade around because they beat fucking UVA like whatever it is 16 times in a row. Congratulations, guys. Wow.
Yep.
Whoop-de-doo. So has like every other team in the nation. So I was kind of looking forward to that whole streak ending, but I no longer believe it is. However, I hope it does. So, yeah.
Yep, I'm still with you. I hope it does, but I'm taking Virginia Tech because I just don't think that's going to happen. They have flip-flopped their seasons completely. Virginia Tech started off atrociously bad. UVA started off hot. It is flip-flopped. It's all Virginia Tech right now. The other game, which is at 2:30, love these start times. Love that I can just wake up on Friday and just watch football right off the bat. Iowa, Nebraska, 6. Nebraska's a sorry-ass team. I mean, they are a sorry-ass team. They did win me. They won me my bet last week. But Iowa, 6, I'm taking that. Yeah, the offense isn't spectacular, but it's in Nebraska. Nebraska's garbage. 6 is easy for me. I like Iowa there.
I like Iowa there as well. I'm actually getting 5.5, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah, so that avoids the whole 2 field goal situation. But, yeah, I like Iowa there too. Nebraska's just ass.
Yep. I don't have a pick on it yet, but the UC-Memphis game is going to be a great game. It's 2 nicely ranked teams right there at 332. I don't have a pick there. I might tweet one out, so you might have to follow me on Trophy Kids Pods. Doing very well. Went 5 for 1 last week in picks given out. Brought the season up to north of 40. It's like 43-20 is my record, I think, on picks given out. So might want to give that a follow out there. But that kind of wraps it up for my Friday picks. Then we get into Saturday.
Yeah.
From the time football starts to the time it ends, we have got a solid game at each slot. I am so excited for this. Ohio State, Michigan, the number's 9.5. Here's something crazy. Chase Young, and this is kind of what does it for me because he has been absolutely dominant. If I have the number one pick, I think I'm drafting him. I have a feeling the Bengals are probably going to draft Joe Burrow. Yeah. As somebody told me, which I think is honestly a great comparison, I hadn't thought about it. I don't know if he's going to be this type of player in the NFL, but at least in college, he's just a more athletic Carson Palmer. Like, he very much kind of fits that in college, at least. I don't know if he's going to be Carson Palmer in the NFL, but as Chase Young stays healthy, I don't see why he isn't the best player in this draft performance-wise in the NFL. Like, there's no way. But against the two top teams they played this year, the man had 6 tackles in Wisconsin, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Against Penn State, he had 9 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. This man is insane. Michigan's offensive line doesn't have a prayer here. Give me Ohio State -9. They are going to bury them.
Yeah, I realize, it's like 2 versus 15, whatever Michigan is. I can't remember.
10.
They're 10. Oh, my God.
Or at least that's what I'm showing on this site. I believe they're 10.
Oh,
Let me
boy.
just double check that. Yeah. Yes.
Even though I get it, they're 2 top 15 ranked teams, that number still surprised me. I was thinking it was going to come out and be more like a 14.5. So, yeah, I've got them here at 9.5 personally. I'm jumping all over Ohio State. I think they're going to eat them alive. Like you said, Chase Young is just a man amongst just boys, I guess. That's what it looks like when he plays. Yeah, it really does. Like, I don't mean any disrespect to these amazing collegiate athletes that all play Division I football, but Chase Young eats all of them alive, and he's just gonna. And I think he's just gonna eat everyone alive next year when he plays in the NFL. But Chase Young is a rare individual. He's a rare talent. Yeah, I'm thinking 3 sacks minimum for this guy. He's gonna eat Michigan.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Michigan did turn the corner. Like, from the second half of that Penn State game, that team has looked night and day difference from before. They are looking like a good football team. Here's the problem, though. This Ohio State team is definitely better than last year's Ohio State team. Mm-hmm. And this Michigan team is not better than last year's Michigan team defensively. I don't see how the Michigan offense keeps up because in order for that offense to succeed, they have to be able to run the ball, which I think you can do against Ohio State. Penn State sort of showed that. I wish they had run the ball more, to be honest. Penn State is more athletic on defense, though. And that's my fear, is I just don't think Michigan's offense can keep up. I think it'll be a close game to start just because of the emotions, the pure adrenaline of the moment. It's in the big house in Michigan. I think they'll ride that initially, but I think at some point Ohio State just puts the pedal to the metal and just gashes them and just gets huge separation in the spread.
Agreed. And then I also think, to an extent, I think Ohio State's in Michigan's head, to be honest. They've just
at least Harbaugh's.
Harbaugh's head for sure. They've just dominated. They've dominated him since he returned to college coaching, and it goes even further than that. Before he was here, they still dominated them. So yeah, I think there's a little head games there as well.
Yeah, because here's the other thing: Michigan does not have an offensive lineman on the tackle spot that can take Chase Young one-on-one. So what are you going to do? Double them all game? The Ohio State defense is good enough that if you do that, they're going to gash you. There is no winning, at least from that Michigan side. So yeah, I'm on 9.5. I might even look at the over. I might look at some first. I've been getting addicted to the first quarter half spreads. We'll see about that, but I'm definitely taking that. Then at 3:30, we got the Iron Bowl. Love this spot. Alabama Auburn. I could not believe the line on this one. It is sitting at 4 right now. Alabama is the favorites now. Yes, I get it. Tua's out. But Jones looked pretty good. Yes, it was against obviously subpar, but even when he's come in for Tua, he has looked good against some very good SEC defenses. In Auburn, Bo Nix is just I would be very nervous about throwing him out there. The Alabama defense is wishy-washy a little bit. It's a little leaky this year, but still, that number seemed a little off at 4.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the defense of Alabama is not like previous years of Alabama. They are a little leaky for sure. But Alabama doesn't really seem to miss too much when Tua's not playing. Regardless, they have 4 wide receivers that are all going to the NFL.
That receiving core.
Get them the ball.
Yeah. It is, and they have a big offensive line because that's all Auburn's strength is. They have a very good defensive line that typically dominates the line of scrimmage, and That isn't the case when you play Alabama. It's like playing Georgia. Like the offensive line, no matter how good your defensive line is, it's pretty much a neutralizing force. Yeah, you get times in the game where you break through, but those floodgates aren't bursted open.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like Bama there.
Yep, I'm with you. Bama. The over, I might even consider. 50 is a big number because I don't know how much Auburn's going to actually be able to score, but something I might look into. And then at night, we wrap. Well, you got Notre Dame, Stanford. I don't have a pick there. I'm going to tweet that pick out. So once again, that number's at 17, but follow us at Trophy Kids Pod on Twitter. You'll get that tweeted out. So I do have a pick there, just not for this show.
My early lean is Notre Dame.
Yep, I would say that is a smart plan, but it may not be the number I go with. Might have a different plan. But the game, 8 o'clock. I have got, or not 8 o'clock, sorry. It's at, not exactly 8. Wisconsin, Minnesota. The number is 2.5. Over-under is 47. I am so excited for this game. One, because this determines who's playing Ohio State, where I lean here a certain way. But I am this game. This I think is going to be the closest game of the weekend. Where are you leaning here, sir?
I am leaning towards Minnesota.
I like it.
I am loving these Golden Gophers. Yeah, I really am. They've done great against like every spread this year. They're just surprising everyone. They pulled off upsets. They kind of get disrespected, but at this point, I am in on Minnesota.
Same. I was not a believer. I very much underestimated them going to that Penn State game. Yeah. They showed me up, rightfully so. They had the letdown game in Iowa, which I knew was going to happen, and I went against my own mind and gut because Iowa plays one game a year at Iowa late in the season where they just play out of their minds and win a football game they really probably shouldn't have won. If you play it 100 times, they're not winning it. Minnesota, here's the thing, too. Wisconsin's offense is a no-go if they can't run the ball. Minnesota's got a very good defense. Like, they are going to be able to – and they got the athletes on the outside to shut down Wisconsin's air raid game, which is pretty much not going anyway. But it's definitely not going against this Minnesota team. I'm with you. 2 seems insane that Wisconsin's favored, 2.5. I like Minnesota as the underdog there at 2.5. That's a 3:30 game. But I'm a big, big fan of that number. The 8 o'clock game, though, I'm mentioning here, and this last game that we'll touch, Oklahoma State. And the reason I am bringing this game up is because I don't know how the over doesn't hit here. It's 69.5. Oklahoma can't play a lick of defense this year. The Oklahoma team, I think, is done, to say the least. They do not look like a very good football team. I like the over here. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game because it just seems to always go that way when Oklahoma State and Oklahoma get together.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much any time Oklahoma seems to hit the field, it just seems a very high-scoring affair. I'm with you. I'm definitely leaning towards the over. I can't decide on that spread. I'm looking at like 13.5. Oklahoma just, they started off so hot, but they aren't blowing teams out like they were. So I might be going Oklahoma State there.
Yeah, they got a huge win against Baylor.
Yes.
That comeback there, but
yes. I
like Mike Gundy first off as head coach. I like what he brings. I feel good about Oklahoma State, but I don't know enough if I'm confident enough to pick a number on that spread, but I do like the over because that just seems that's the way this game should go. It should go over. I expect Oklahoma to hit an over here at 69.5. Any other games that stuck out to you? That's all I kind of had on this wonderful rivalry week.
That's mostly what I've been looking at for the most part. Yeah, I mean, there's so many games that I'm just going to have to like sit down and really just like take time and make a shit ton of picks.
Take stock of the whole scenario. Well, I'll be tweeting out picks, bonus picks. Make sure you're following us at Trophy Kids Pod. That kind of does it for us. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Not much. Just, make sure everyone has a good turkey day, really.
Wonderful turkey day. I got one, and it is the quote of the year for Mike Tomlin there. Okay. Asked today, I don't know the full context or how it leaned up, but they basically asked why Dalvin Hodges, and he simply answered, because he has not killed us yet.
That is
Mason.
Interesting.
Yeah. How do you walk back into the building?
I don't know. I mean, how do you, face? I don't know. It's just very weird. I'm not really sure. Have you heard of Hodges' nickname, by the way?
Duck? Yeah.
Yeah. You know why it's Duck?
No.
Oh, it's because like in Alabama, where he lived in Alabama or something, he won like the duck calling contest. Apparently, he makes great duck calls. So I'm hoping like when he's like under center, he makes like a duck call or something. I'm pretty excited.
Him and our friend Jeff would have a lot to talk about there. But
yeah, that quote from Tomlin is I'd have to dig in a little deeper, know exactly what he meant. But man, let me tell you, that's a headline grabber right there.
I saw it swirling around the internet. On top of being benched in the Bengals game, you got benched playing the Bengals. Like, what? I don't know how you walk back into the facility that week if you're Mason.
I don't know either. I thought I was kind of like watching that Bengals game because right now I have draft interest since I'm a terrible team that I root for, and I was just like, oh my god, the Bengals might win, and I was just like on the edge of my seat, and I was like, oh damn it, the Bengals didn't win, but he must have played like shit.
I was at that game.
Oh
yeah, free tickets, thankfully.
Yeah.
That's why I went. Got a free ticket offer. They were clamoring for Andy Dalton in the fourth to bring in the Red Rocket. That's how bad things have gotten. You told me even 3 weeks ago that the crowd would want Andy Dalton starting in that game. I would have said you're a bull-faced liar because they do not like Andy up here. But they were clamoring for him at the end of that game, and I was shocked to see Mason be benched. I mean, not really because he played terrible, but that's wrong.
Well, at this point, I feel like the Bengals fans are like, look, we can now win a game and still have the first pick. So let's get a win going here. So
that's exactly what the logic was when they saw, because they kept playing the highlights. There weren't like a ton of highlights, but they kept showing the Redskins-Lions score in the stadium. So it turned from, well, if we're gonna win a game, we might as well make it this game against the Steelers, because let's not go winless on the season. So it was interesting. It was an interesting tide. Changing of the tide in Bengal Stadium.
I'm sure it was.
Well, that'll do it for us. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Yeah.